Hey, welcome back to my weekly vlog. This week we have a little bit of something different going on because I am going to answer your questions that you sent me on Instagram. If you aren't already, make sure that you start following me on Instagram so that you can throw questions into the hat next time I do this. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Steckly, and here on my channel I like to talk all things travel and filmmaking. I would definitely suggest checking out the video linked above if you are brand new to my channel, and then you can come on back and hang out for the Q&A. Where is Annie asks, what is the hardest thing for you to create constant content for YouTube? For the most part, I don't have a hard time coming up with content ideas for YouTube at all because I have this long list of video ideas and it's just a matter of actually finding the time to make them all. But I think sometimes what I struggle with is I am more likely to come up with tutorial ideas, say for like filmmaking stuff, about things that I very recently learned how to do, and so I'm often not thinking about the more basic tutorials that I would have liked to see, like say 4 or 5 years ago. So I think sometimes for me it's a challenge to sort of think back to where true beginners really are in their journey and coming up with videos that are going to help them. So that being said, if you ever have any struggles with photo or video stuff, then feel free to reach out, message me on Instagram, leave a comment, and I'd be happy to make a tutorial about that because sometimes I find it hard to know exactly what people want to learn. Ferguson Avenue asks, where do you get inspiration for your videos? For me, it's all kinds of things. In terms of the videos where I am teaching about photo video stuff, it's things that I recently have learned or I would think it'd be interesting for other people, what other YouTubers might want to know. Some of my videos that are more chatty, it's literally just me wanting to like rant about YouTube or talk about creativity, what it's like to be a freelancer, just stuff that's kind of been on my mind, and I feel like, why don't I just sit down and talk to the camera about it? And then for travel, it's just like whatever location I go to, I want to try to like share it in a cool way. In terms of YouTubers who I watch that I really love their work and the way they create videos has definitely inspired me to get better at making videos myself would be Iz Harris, Lizzie Pierce, my friend Josie. All of these women make amazing content, and every time I watch it I'm like, dang, I need to step up my game. So if you're looking for some YouTube inspiration, definitely check them out. Sarah asks, how do you motivate yourself to wake up when you don't have plans? Yeah, that's a good question. As a freelancer, I have my schedules pretty much wide open, but I fill them in with just my own tasks that I need to get done so that I have a sense of structure in my day. But realistically, I could wake up anytime that I want. But really what makes me wake up is that Dan wakes up every morning and goes to work for 9 a.m. So pretty much always wake up at the same time as him and kind of work while he's away at work and then try to put it away once he gets home, but like I usually end up continuing to work once he's back anyway. Dylan Production asks, do you feel like you have an advantage working in your field because of your location? That's a really interesting question. I do think that my business is working out the way that it is because of where I am, but I don't think it's because of the city that I live in. I think it's just because I've been here for a number of years now and I've found myself communities and networks of people that I'm able to like find work through. So I think that this like kind of success is possible in any kind of city my size, but it's just that since I've been here since I started university in 2014 and I've become part of all these different communities, I have a lot of connections to different people and different work referrals and stuff have come through because of those connections. It also really helps being a part of the Bossy Women podcast that I host with my friend Katie because we've met a ton of people through that, local business owners and all that kind of thing. And so that's definitely helped grow my videography business and find me clients. Maria May Marketing asks, I want to start a podcast, but I'm scared to do it on my own. I feel like I need a partner. What are your thoughts? Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I do feel like it's easier to start a podcast if you have a co-host. I think a lot of people would struggle to just speak into a microphone for an entire hour. I mean, I personally love, like, say, the Gold Digger podcast by Jenna Kutcher. My favorite episodes are the ones where she talks by herself because they're so informational and she's a very engaging, dynamic speaker. But I do think for a lot of people, it's challenging to hold the attention of a listener for that long when it's just by yourself. Also, if you're doing that kind of a podcast, you need to script it. Like, I don't think anybody can ad lib for an hour straight and have it be like actually useful information. One time I recorded a solo episode for the Bossy Women podcast, and it was sort of about my journey as a freelancer, and I think I spoke for like maybe 25 minutes straight and just like talked about how I became a freelancer. So that's sort of, I think, the upper limit of how long you can talk by yourself without just going in circles. So for that reason, I think if you want to try to have like a casual conversational approach, then it's really good to have a co-host to go back and forth with. Also, in my experience with us interviewing people, it's a lot less intimidating to have two people kind of going back and forth with the interviewee. Sometimes we have more than one person that we're interviewing, so that makes it a lot nicer because it feels more like a group conversation and there's less pressure. That being said, you definitely don't need a co-host to start a podcast. So for a long time, I thought about having a podcast before I ever would have connected with Katie and made the Bossy Women podcast, like back in high school, and I thought, oh, like that's something you need more people. I could never do it, whatever. So then when the time was right and Katie was also interested, it made a great partnership. But you can do it on your own if you don't have like a friend who might be interested in starting it with you. So like, don't feel like you can't create in that medium if you don't have anybody in your life that's interested in doing it with you. I would suggest checking out the Goal Digger podcast by Jenna Kutcher. There's also a podcast by Ariel Bissett, who is a book YouTuber. I will leave it in the description below, both of these, so you can go check them out. They're both mostly solo podcasts, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what it's like to host a podcast by yourself. It's definitely doable, so don't count yourself out just because you don't have a partner in crime. Jen asked, who has believed in you the most, been the biggest support in your life? That's a great question, and I know right away the answer is my partner, Dan. He has been the most generous, supportive person around me, like just totally going all in and following my dreams. I don't think anybody in my life believes in me as much as he does. Like, I feel like he really truly believes that I can do exactly what I want, that I can like make my YouTube channel grow and make my business profitable, and he does everything that he can to make sure that I can keep pursuing that, and I appreciate it so much. Sarah asks, what do you spend too much money on? Probably food. We don't even go out to eat that much, but if I like look at my budget, I'm like, the one thing where there's excess spending would be like eating out. When I think about the biggest chunks of money that I've spent over the past couple months, what they've gone towards, it's all been like business stuff, like upgrading my laptop, buying a Ronin S, but that's like, I think, justified expenses. So I'm gonna say eating out. Sarah also asked, what goals did you achieve in 2018? And I think I set myself like really 3 goals for 2018, and they were like get married, go on an adventure, and like forget what the third one was. I think it was something about either making YouTube videos. I think making a certain number of YouTube videos. And I don't know if I hit that number, but I got married and I did a lot of traveling. So I would say that I completed them. Ariana asks, essential gear for shooting YouTube videos, and how did you get started in freelance? Luckily, I am going to be making a video very soon on 3 beginner vlogging setups that are kind of like what I see as 3 different kind of gear kits that you could start YouTube with, so watch out for that. For now, I will just say you could start YouTube with whatever camera you already have. If you have an iPhone, you can start a YouTube channel. If you want to buy a point and shoot or a DSLR, you can 100% start a YouTube channel. I really believe that you need to just start creating. Don't worry too much about the gear. But if you were looking at buying a camera that would work really well for YouTube, I would suggest checking out the Sony RX100. It's what I'm shooting on right now. It is my vlogging camera. It's super compact, but it's really high quality. There's some great slow-mo options on there. The only thing I would add to that is if you want to have some really good crisp audio for like sit-down talking shots and stuff like that, which I have not done today, so sorry about that. Then I would also suggest getting the Zoom H1 handy mic and a Sony lav mic attachment. I use these all the time for recording audio, and I think it does a really good job. So with those combinations, you'd have a great camera that you can use both for sit-down clips, like more professional looking stuff, and vlogging, and then whenever you want to throw in the high quality audio, you have that gear ready. Also a tripod. Okay, and how did I get started in freelance? So basically, people that I knew personally just started to kind of realize that I made YouTube videos. I've been making YouTube videos since I was about 12, 13 years old. So All through high school I made these videos, and eventually the people from my summer camp wanted a promo video of the camp. They knew that I made videos, so they hired me to make a little promotional video about the camp, and that was the first time anybody paid me to make a video. And ever since then, I just have been chasing the dream of being my own boss and making videos. Elena from Lemons & Co. asked, what is your video planning process? It really depends on the video. When it comes to a vlog, I probably should plan more, but really I just sort of shoot what I'm doing in my life and then I edit it later. When it comes to my more informational tutorial type videos, I do write out a script or at least an outline of what I want to talk about. So I kind of start with idea, and then I come up with a rough script or outline, I shoot it, edit it. I have this whole long checklist of what I need to do in order to upload it to make sure that it does as well as it can. If you're interested in that checklist, I'll link it up in the cards. You can download it for free from my website if you want to know what the checklist is that I use for every single video. Though when it comes to client projects, it can often be a lot more involved, where it's sort of like a collaboration on like the script. Then I come up with like a storyboard and shot list, and it's broken down by like location, time of day, like the people involved, like actors or whatever. So when it comes to like freelance projects, it's a lot more specific, but with my YouTube videos, it's a lot more of a relaxed planning process. Nasty Gal Travel asks, why did you decide to be a YouTuber and how do you make money? I honestly don't even really remember like deciding to be a YouTuber. I have just made YouTube videos since I was so young. Like, I feel like when YouTube first started, the term YouTuber wasn't even really a thing. Like, when I was watching like the Vlog Brothers and all these people, it was just sort of like vloggers maybe. I don't know. I just started making videos because I wanted to access a community where people talked about things that I cared about, because in my awkward like middle school stage, I didn't have that many friends that wanted to talk about Harry Potter with me. So I started making videos to kind of talk about, you know, things that I cared about, and I wanted to contribute to this like online community. Since then, I've just continued because I freaking love making videos and I love watching YouTube videos, and I'm just so fascinated and interested in the community and the process of creation and the way it's become an industry, and I'm just all into it. And I primarily make money from my freelance work. I create social media videos for different kinds of businesses and entrepreneurs, though I have done a sponsored video in the past, so I have made money on YouTube. But yeah, mostly it's through client projects. Finally, Emily asks, where are we going to travel to next? Great question. I'm going to Ecuador. I'm in Ecuador when you're watching this, but Emily, where are we going to go to next? I think that we need to go to Morocco. Honestly, wherever the plane tickets are cheapest, right? That's where we'll go. Okay, thank you so much everybody for submitting your questions. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to ask a question in the next Q&A, then make sure you go follow me on Instagram so that you can submit next time I throw one of those little question boxes up on my story. Like I mentioned in last week's vlog, I'm not sure if there is going to be another vlog next Sunday because I am currently traveling in the rainforest of Ecuador, so you might have to wait until I get home for another weekly vlog, but I'll keep you posted. Either way, you can look forward to videos on Tuesday and Friday. Check out this video. Clicking on it really helps me in the algorithm, trust me. Even more so than liking and commenting, but you can do that too. But most importantly, please subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I upload every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. As always, I hope that you are having adventures and following your dreams, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!